3. Good morning and welcome to the board hearing room. Good morning, city staff, executives, city attorney, commissioners, members of the public. If there's anyone who is a member of the public who wishes to offer public commentary on any of our agendized items and you have not already done so, please fill out a speaker card. They're located in the back of the room on the table. Please identify yourself, indicate which item you'd like to speak on, and hand it to me. I'll record your information for the record, and then I'll call upon you when we reach your item. Good morning as well to our attendees who are joining us on the Zoom virtual platform. If there are any members of the public on the virtual platform who wish to offer commentary, please raise your hand, identify yourself for the record, indicate which item you'd like to speak on. I will record your information, and then we will call upon you when we reach your item. I currently have 2 in-person speakers. I have Audit LA and Laura FM. And it is 9:51. We should get started with the board meeting in approximately 9 minutes. Thank you. Good morning once again to our attendees who are joining us here in the hearing room. If there's any member of the public who's not already done so and you'd like to offer commentary, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room. On the table, indicate which item you'd like to speak on, hand it to me, I'll record your information for the record, and then we will call upon you when we reach your item. Good morning as well to our attendees on the virtual platform. I do see a hand raised. I'm going to ask Gigi if you would unmute.
Good morning, TJ. I just want general public today.
Thank you. I have you down for public comment. I'm going to go ahead and put you back in mute and lower your hand. Good morning, Miriam. I see that your hand is raised. Would you like to offer commentary on any of our items this morning?
Yes, general public comment.
Thank you. I have you down for public comment.
Thank you.
Good morning once again. If there's any member of the public who wishes to offer commentary, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room. Indicate which item you'd like to speak on. Hand it to me. I'll record your information for the record. And then we'll call upon you when we reach your item. I do see a hand raised in the virtual platform, caller ending in 880. Would you like to offer commentary this morning?
General public comment.
Thank you. I have you down for general public comment. And we're now in record mode and ready to begin the meeting, President Kang.
All right, good morning, everybody. We're going to get started. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Wednesday, March 11th, 2026. Mr. Knight, please take roll and establish quorum.
Thank you, President Kang. Good morning, President Kang, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, Commissioner Mitchell, and Commissioner Cardenas are present. We do have a quorum. We are joined this morning by our City Attorney, Representative Virginia Choi. I'm TJ Knight with the Board of Public Works. President Kang, we have 2 public commenters and 2 multiple agenda item commenters joining us here in the hearing room. And we have 3 public commenters on the virtual platform. We have no neighborhood council commentary this morning.
Thank you very much. We will get started with general public comment, which is an opportunity for the public to address the board on public interest items and will be provided up to 1 minute per person, up to a cumulative total of 10 minutes. For the general public comment segment of each regular meeting, testimony shall be limited in content to subject matters which are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works. The board may not take any action on any matters discussed during the public comment period. We will start with our in-person speakers. We have Audit Ale.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I'm here to talk about the shrine again, okay? As we know, there was an incident which I am requesting a formal investigation into by Public Works. Basically, because the city attorney's already made it very clear that they cannot prevent pedestrians. It's on your page 2 of your permit, you know, even when they have a special events permit. But somehow Scientology got Bureau of Street Services along with Kern Price's office and LAPD to whip up like a little shenanigans where they closed all 4 streets. And you're not supposed to, you said you're not going to be closing streets if the event is indoors. It was indoors. And then they also closed the sidewalks. But since they know about page 2, they can't close sidewalks. What they did is say they're going to make it for locals only. And we had Scientology, you know, people who make slave wages, looking at everybody's ID to see whether or not they belonged. And how do they know if you belong, right? I could be, you know, you could live there, you could be in the dorm there. I could be, my child could be there, and I could be visiting but not live there. I could be a DoorDasher. It could be anything. Who is Scientology to determine who is permitted on a public street? This is illegal, and please do an investigation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Laura FM.
President King, quickly, I am getting reports that the Zoom attendees are experiencing a very low volume. I did attempt to review the settings on the tablet that controls the volume for the Zoom platform. They appear to be at full volume, so I would encourage anyone on the Zoom platform who's having difficulty hearing to join via the YouTube channel that is listed on the front of all of the board's agendas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Laura FM.
Hi, board. Good morning. So I do want to say I've been noticing, obviously, more of an awareness for sure about the permits. I've been driving by. There has not been as much closure on the fake L. Ron Hubbard Way Boulevard, which soon we are hoping it will be turned back or given an option to be turned back to North Berendo Street. I do know that there is effort being done. I want to echo what Audit was just talking about the Shrine Auditorium, because we will be there this year again doing that protesting in a very loving and peaceful way. And for them to have that street closer shut down is just complete gang, like that's what gang members do when they get the city to get on their side, to like stop people from exposing their crimes. So if you can please make sure they do not get any closures for any sidewalks or streets around the shrine. They can have their event inside, whatever that may be, but other than that, it's infiltrating the environment of the city because they don't need that. That's just to stop people like me from seeing my father.
Thank you very much. We will transition to our virtual platform.
Thank you, President King. We'll start with Gigi.
Okay, so I'm going to focus on the portal and how hard it is to find permits and find out what the permits are supposed to be about, where they're supposed to be, what times and all that stuff. There was a time where it was easy to look up this information. There was transparency, but Keith decided to switch something up, and it's so hard to find this information. And Scientology cannot be trusted when they're showing the police the permit themselves. They could just print something up. They could edit it. They could doctor it. I don't know what they're doing. How would I know that they're giving them the correct permit? Do you know how I would know? Is if they were looking, if the police were looking on the portal or looking at something directly from you guys stating what was going on with these permits. Scientology can't be, trusted when it comes to just showing them the first page and not saying anything about how they can't block the sidewalk. Thank you. I yield my time.
We'll move next to Miriam.
Hi, I want to also generally comment on the permits given to the cult of Scientology. Also, because these permits are not necessarily always applied under the cult of Scientology, but one of their front groups or other organizations that they are running. I'm fairly sure that Lara or Audit have given you a list of all these different organizations that are run by Scientology, and therefore they can even get permits, even if you're monitoring whether you are giving any permits to Scientology, they can be applied under different names. So I would really like you to look into that. Also regarding the shrine, which was completely a sham, the whole thing, because Lara FM was protesting there 3 years ago and saw her father, they have decided to restrict access to the complete surrounding area of Shrine Auditorium, just to not let children be able to.
Thank you, Miriam. That's 60 seconds. And we'll move next to caller ending in 880.
I'm just going to repeat everything everybody said prior to me, the four previous callers, the two callers and the two in-person speakers. Sometimes I feel like I'm really talking to a brick wall when we've been coming and telling you about the shrine and your all the things that went on there, and you're not doing anything about it. No one's there to enforce what they're supposed to be doing. And Mose took the page off the website, and you're continuing to give permits to them. You haven't studied the child trafficking that's going on. The internet's available to you guys. Why don't you use it and figure out what we've been trying to tell you? Bye.
President King, that concludes general public comment this morning.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the general public comment portion of today's meeting and move forward with multiple agenda item public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item comment period for up to a minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes per meeting. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item, and please identify the items that you will speak on when you are called. We will start with in-person speakers. Audit LA.
Good morning again. I want to start with number one. We're going to down to brass tacks about sidewalks. It seems like, you know, with the Willets, right? We have to do our sidewalks, but you're given a really long time, like 30 years to do so. So it seems like you're just like throwing pennies at the problem because every time I come, it's like $1 million, $2 million. And believe me, I traverse these sidewalks. It's going to take a lot more than that. And so I'm asking you guys to please, please, please step it up. And even though you may have the time to do it, the 30 years, I'm just asking for, especially with the Olympics, Paralympics coming, we need our sidewalks. Okay, the other one is number 4, okay. I find this one really interesting because you're saying that there's incurable default, right? And so you want to cancel the contract. And I love that you're doing that. Like, it shows that you are policing your contracts. But we've been coming up here for, 2 years now almost, asking you to revoke the revocable permit, which is revocable, which is a contract. And it's not on the agenda, which I'm hoping that it will be, because they too are in incurable default, okay? They have everything that they do, whether it's slave wages, they're doing labor, which they're not allowed to do on public works. They're not showing their insurance, everything. It's the same thing, and so it's correlated. So I don't know why one is on here and the other one's not. The other one I wanted to talk about, number 6. I almost gulped when I saw this because it says RFP. My brain switched it. I thought it said RPF, which is, Scientology's jail. And I'm like, wait a minute, we're not going to do that here in Public Works. And when it comes to Hyperion, I still want to keep saying that. I kind of wish the city, since we're so broke, would invite other entities, great or big organizations, maybe like Disney, because you're trying to make it like which is a great idea. Make it where kids can come and enjoy it, and the public can come, and it's not just about water. It's a teaching instrument. Why not have like a Disney or people who do animatronics or things like that? They're experts at that. Let them come, put their name on it, put their touch on it, and save the city a lot of money. When it comes to minutes, I don't know why it's hard to put the minutes on. I was talking to Jose earlier, but not just the minutes, but also I was asking him about like the because this has been put on a lot, the time clock. So people calling in, it gets really hard because like here we have this clock. I know I have 6 seconds, but you don't get that. So this little things, if they could put that in the minutes and everything that's being said in the minutes, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next in-person speaker is Laura FM.
Yeah, you may need it.
Oh, I thought I'm such a rock star. I was like, here, this is for the backup singers. Okay, hi, good morning. I want to echo what she was just talking about the minutes. It's super important for us. Again, we talk about I know that you guys have even the agenda here with all of the, exact details of each step. If you could just have the minutes with everybody's quick line calling in, asking for revocable permit for Scientology's L. Ron Hubbard Way, calling in, asking if Sea Org members can stop working on public streets without having fair wages. Like, these are all common sense things, but it's also for people that have left the cult that are hoping to get their parents out. It's a long shot, but I'm trying the best ways that we can. And to have that reflected on the minutes is going to help us in court cases. It's going to show that we have been asking the city, we've been asking you guys personally, individually, and so whatever you guys are doing, I appreciate it individually. If you guys know that you've been like looking at things, or I know that you guys have also been hopefully with the little booklet pamphlet, maybe checking programs or future permits with Scientology based on that. And so, yeah, if that could all just reflect in the minutes, it would be really helpful. And then with Neighborhood Council, I just want to comment that they should definitely be a part of this, and they should also have these booklets so that they are able to help Public Works with the neighborhood. And yeah, I guess that's all I want to say for now. But please, thank you so much on the minutes. Thanks.
And that concludes multiple agenda item commentary this morning, President Kang.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the multiple item public comment portion of today's meeting and move forward with the approval of minutes for Monday, March 2nd, 2026. Is there a first and a second?
So move. Second.
First by President Pro Tem Grant, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of minutes, starting with you, President Kang,
Aye.
Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell, and Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and this item is approved unanimous.
Thank you very much. Moving to our bids this morning, we will open our bids for item number 1.
Thank you, President Kang. This morning, I'm joined by Board Secretariat Staff Member Matthew Castellanos as we open bids for item 1. Thank you. The first bid this morning is from Environmental Construction Incorporated. Environmental Construction Incorporated's total bid amount is $100,000. 1000000. I'm sorry? That's the bid. Is that not the total? Okay. My mistake. I've been corrected by a member of the public, a member of the contractor bidding community. So to correct the first bid from Environmental Construction's total bid amount is $2,444,264.70. And the first bid from Environmental Construction Incorporated's total bid amount is $2,444,264.70. Thank you. The second bid this morning is from Axiom Group. Axiom Group's total bid amount is $2,242,485.71. Sure. Axiom Group's total bid amount is $2,242,485.71. $2,242,485.71. The next bid is from Geronimo Concrete Incorporated. Geronimo Concrete Incorporated's total bid amount is $2,208,565. $2,208,565. 208. Let me repeat it again. 2,208,565. And that's from Geronimo Concrete. And the next bid is from Addison Miller Incorporated. Addison Miller Incorporated's total bid amount is $2,087,349.25. $2,087,349.25. Thanks, Matthew. And that completes the bid opening this morning for item number 1. Thank you, Mr. Castellanos.
Thank you very much. With that, I'll move to accept the bids that we opened this morning. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll take a roll call vote on item number 1, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 1 is opened and declared. Bids are received, open, and declared, and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you very much. Moving on to items 2 and 3, which are on consent. A proposed amendment on item number 2, a date.
Excuse me, President King.
Yes.
3 is not on consent.
Oh, my apologies. Yes. Number 2 is on consent.
Yes. Only item.
Proposed amendment is the date. Currently, it says on July 7, 2025. That should say July 9th, 2025. So from July 7th, the proposed amendment is to correct it to say July 9th, 2025. With that, I'll move item number 2, which is on consent. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 2 as amended, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
Thank you, all ayes, and the item 2 is adopted and will move forward forthwith. Adopted as amended and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you very much. Moving to item number 3, TOS number 92, 92.1, and 92.2. We have this loud, some sound coming from the roof, so if you can speak directly into the mic would be appreciated.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Roshana Akbarjavan. I'm with the Bureau of Engineering. Okay. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Roshana Akbarjavan. I'm with the Bureau of Engineering, Clean Water Division. Engineering is here to request that the board authorize the city engineer to issue task number 92.1 to Arcadis and task 92.2 to Geosentech Consultants from the pre-qualified on-call wastewater and environmental engineering services consultant list to provide construction management, project management, and design support services for the Clean Water Division. The requested budget authority for task 92.1 is $7,681,769.44, including contingency. The requested budget authority for task 92.2 is $1,900,000, including contingency. Regarding project background, due to the high number of projects that will be awarded for construction by the Clean Water Division, we are recommending the use of consultants to augment construction management and project management staff at the Bureau of Engineering and utilize consultants on an as-needed basis for current and future projects. The main programs within the Clean Water Division that will utilize these services are the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power Stormwater Capture Parks Program, SCPP, and the Safe Clean Water SCW program. The Stormwater Capture Parks program consists of 7 projects located in the, in the East San Fernando Valley. The goal of this program is to increase water supplies through stormwater capture and infiltration, improve water quality, and to provide community benefits. The estimated combined construction cost of the SCPP is $248,645,000. The Safe Clean Water program will implement Measure W regional and municipal projects, which vary from green streets within the public right-of-way to low-flow diversions, underground infiltration galleries, storage tanks, detention basins, or lake rehabilitation projects. Regarding the selection process, on August 28, 2025, choice number 92 was advertised to all 24 consulting firms on the pre-qualified on-call wastewater and environmental engineering services consultant list. Proposals were received on October 6, 2025 from 3 consulting firms, Arcadis, Geosyntec, and Corolla Engineers, Inc. A panel consisting of Bureau of Engineering, BOE, and Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, LADWP personnel rated the proposals in accordance with the selection criteria outlined in the TOS. The panel selected Arcadis and Geosyntec as the most qualified to provide construction management and project management services. Arcadis and Geosyntec both demonstrated that they have a thorough understanding of the task order scope, qualified and experienced team members, a good understanding of city procedures and practices, and offer the best value to the city. Regarding business inclusion program, this task order is subject to the business inclusion program. For task 92.1, Arcadis has pledged the following participation levels. 44.6% minority business enterprise and 77.5% small business enterprise and 10.91% other business enterprise. For task 92.2, Geosyntec has pledged the following participation levels. 4.32% small business enterprise, 4.32% emerging business enterprise, and 66.23% other business enterprise. Please note, given the scope of services for this TOS, there may be limited opportunities to procure the services of certain subconsultant enterprises and meet the anticipated participation levels. The consultants have done outreach and will continue to seek opportunities aiming to meet the city's anticipated participation levels as much as feasible throughout the duration of their contract. Regarding funding for task 92.1 is not to exceed $7,681,769.44, including contingency, and is provided by the LADWP Stormwater Program Implementation Fund, Fund number 682, Department number 50, Appropriation Unit number 50 AVMC. Funding from the LADWP will be provided to the Bureau of Engineering on a reimbursement basis. Total funding for task 92.2 is not to exceed $1,900,000 and is provided by Measure W. Funding for the La Cienega Boulevard Green Street project comes from Fund Number 60W, Department Number 50, Appropriation Unit Number 50 WAEE, and funding for the Wilmington Q Street Local Area Urban Flow Management Project comes from the Fund Number 63F, Department Number 50, Appropriation Unit Number 50 VABW. We do envision future projects with the funding that requires staff augmentation will be added to the TOS through a task order revision. That concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'm ready to respond. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner, anyone have any questions or comments? Commissioner Cardenas.
Yes, thank you for that. Can you go over those BIP numbers again? I'm seeing there's 0 MBE, 0 WBE, and 0 DVBE for Geosyntec. How are we looking at that? How are we going to make sure that we come up with those numbers? It's way below what we were looking for. We're looking for 18% on MBE, 4% on WBE, and 25% on SBE, and they're only at 4.32.
Yes. Yes, they are short. You're absolutely right. So they are aware that the city goals are 18%, 4%, 25%, 8%. They have done outreach. The nature of the projects, unfortunately, didn't allow for them to currently meet the city goals. However, they're pledging to continue to outreach and try to find subconsultants to mitigate the shortfall.
Okay. You're saying that because of the type of project it is, but the other consultant was able to meet those numbers or meet those pledges, so they're doing the same work. So how can we make sure that they're going to be doing what they can, and are we going to be tracking that? Is BCA going to track that? What's the process?
Yes, so we have internally at BOE, we do have quarterly reports. Our PAC division, our project award division, they go through all the details, and we do reach out to consultants on a regular basis, quarterly at least. We touch base with them, and they try to perform outreach, and they try as much as possible to bring subconsultants on board to meet the city goals.
Okay. Well, look forward to seeing some progress on that.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? Vice President Chavez.
Just so I understand this correctly, so work under the TOS 92 is expected to outlive the current PQOC contract. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so what's the transition plan to ensure continuity of support after?
Yes, so this list, the pre-qualified list will expire in June of 2027, and we will come back to you at sole source a sole source revision, so we can continue utilizing the same consultants. So the list will be extended. It will be sole source though.
So you'll come back with a sole source recommendation?
Yeah. So we will come back for an extension of another five years extension in 2027, because this list will expire in 2027.
And so what is the risk if there's delays in that?
Would you please repeat that?
What are the risks if there are delays in that execution of that contract?
We have gone through this process before with the same list. We will be proactive about it to ensure that the projects are not being impacted. So we will be proactively working for that extension.
And then I had a question about the Wilmington Q Street project. I just see that the management fee is relatively high in comparison to the construction project or value. And I'm just, could you talk a little bit about the justification of the cost relative to the scope?
I'm gonna have to find the answer to that and get back to you. We have multiple programs. I'm the senior engineer overseeing the LADWP stormwater captures program. My colleague who is overseeing the Wilmington Q is not present currently at the board, but I will email you the response to your question.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments from the board related to item number 3? All right, is there a first and a second?
So moved. Second.
First by Commissioner Cardenas, seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 3, starting with you, President Kang,
Aye.
Vice President Chavez,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell, and Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 3 is adopted, and we'll move forward forthwith.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then moving on to item number 4, contract termination, Green Garden Incorporated.
Good morning, President Kong, Commissioners. My name is Hector Banuelos, the Streets LA Urban Forestry Division. The Bureau is requesting that the board approve the request for terminate a contract for landscape medians in the Bay Harbor region of the city of Los Angeles. It covers Council Districts 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, and approximately 2.9 million square feet of landscape medians. The contractor, Green Garden, was responsible to maintain these areas, these locations, approximately about 105 locations, once every 10 working days, once every 2 weeks. So the contractor, this contract, particular is the first year option, with the second year of the contract of a potential 3-year contract. The contractor started out fairly well through the, which the contract commenced on February 3rd of 2025. That was the first year option. But throughout the course of time, during the months, they did have some deficiencies where were then corrected. We had pretty good communication with the contractor. We try to work with all the contractors and because the city does not have staffing available to maintain these medians on our own. So we're highly reliant on these contractors and we try to work with them to the extent possible. However, on this contractor, the work really started going bad and terrible starting around June and July of 2025. So we tried work with the contractor, met with him on a couple occasions, a lot of email correspondences back and forth, asking the contractor or requesting contractor that he correct all the deficiencies that were noted throughout the condition of the medians. And many times they weren't addressed. Right, so there's approximately 105 locations of which the contractor were missing. Approximately up to 80% of the locations were missed. We had some locations not serviced for several months. And so the division then elected to terminate the contract with this contractor on December 16th or December 17th of this year. For the record, I want to make note that on the recommendations, on number 1, that concur with the Bureau of Street Services Street LA letter of Green Garden, dated December 17th. That is actually December 16th. So the letter is a typo there. So on that condition, I want to make for the record that it could be corrected. And also on the transmittals, on transmittal number 4, the date should be December 16th. And additionally, a couple more corrections. Sorry, a couple typos here. It got all in line. On page 2, there's a couple paragraphs where they also cite December 17th. Those should be corrected to December 16th. Okay, so with, get back to the contractor performance. Yeah, I met with the contractor personally on a couple locations in July and then again in October, citing all the deficiencies of the contract. And where the contractor then stated that he's working on obtaining additional staff so he can properly address the deficiencies. Contractor noted that he was severely affected by ice raids, and he was had a deficiency in staff, and but he was going to gear up with staffing and be able to address the deficiencies. However, we saw no improvements on the performance throughout the months of October, November, and on through December, and then he just stopped working for several days, citing that he wasn't paid. But the city did process payment to him, and it was being held up by a loan commission through Merriweather and insurance company from Merriweather and Williams and Merriweather, where that was a separate agreement between the contractor and the insurance company that had nothing to do with the LA City. So the excuse of not being able to maintain, therefore, was just not appropriate, we felt. So we did terminate the contract, and we're asking that for noted reasons for deficiency in their work performance. So we're asking that the board concur with our recommendations to terminate the contract and to concur with the letter that was sent to the contractor by the Bureau of the contract termination effective on December 16th, 2025. We're asking that the board also direct Streets LA to refrain from pursuing the performance bond associated with the contract for the failure to perform, and direct the Office of Accounting to release the retention and distribute funds in the amount of $33,795 to Green Garden. That concludes the presentation. I'm here to address any questions the board may have.
Thank you very much, and thank you for all the work that you've done to really work with Green Garden to rectify and understand that we're currently at this situation. Commissioners, any questions or comments? And well noted about the amendment about December 16th. All right, seeing none, is there a first?
If I could just
Yes.
interrupt, if Bureau of Street Services, Mr. Banuelos, could please send the board secretariat a corrected transmittal 4. That way we can incorporate that with a correct date of the letter into the journal when we stamp it, adopt it, and publish it.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Mitchell, did you have a question? Okay. All right. Is there a first and a second? As amended.
So move as amended.
Second.
First by President Pro Tem Grant, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 4 as amended, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 4 is adopted, and we'll move forward adopted as amended, and we'll move forward forthwith.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving to item number 5, request for authority, mobile fleet washing services.
All right, good morning, Board President Kang and other distinguished members of the board, City Attorney Rep and Executive Officer. Thank you for the opportunity to present today. My name is Timothy Huang with Los Angeles Sanitation and Environment. I'm here today to seek authority to exercise the 5-year renewal option for contract number C139248 between the city and On-Site Truck Wash Incorporated. This contract covers mobile fleet washing services across 3 sanitation solid resources yards that provide daily residential collection services. These are the LA San, North Central, West LA, and Harbor yards. These yards lack both vehicle washing facilities and sufficient space required to build them. Additionally, the mobile fleet washing vendor provides backup washing services to the East Valley, West Valley, and South LA yards in the event the vehicle washing facilities at those yards are out of service. A brief summary on the sanitation residential collection program. LA San is responsible for collecting refuse, yard trimmings, recyclables, horse manure, dead animals, bulky items, and other special waste from approximately 750,000 households citywide. A fleet of more than 800 heavy-duty solid resources collection vehicles is operated to collect these materials, and approximately 330 of these vehicles are operated out of the 3 yards serviced by the mobile fleet washing vendor. The city's current contract with On-Site Truck Wash Incorporated will expire on October 20th, 2026. Therefore, sanitation is seeking authority to exercise the 5-year renewal option for this contract. Thank you for your time, and I welcome any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments on item number 5? Commissioner Cardenas.
Just one question. What has been the satisfaction rate, or is there any issues with their existing contractor? How's their performance been so far?
Thanks for your question, Commissioner Cardenas. So we are satisfied with the contractor, and to be honest, we don't have any issues with them. They're very flexible, and their performance is satisfactory.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, is there a first and a second?
So moved. Second.
First by Commissioner Cardenas, seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you, President King. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 5, starting with you, President King,
Aye.
Vice President Chavez,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell, and Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 5 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 6, RFP and negotiating contracts related to the LA Environmental Learning Center at Hyperion.
Good morning, Commissioners and City Attorney Choi. I'm Cherie Byers, Senior Management Analyst 1 from LA Sanitation and Environment. I'm the Operations Manager for the Environmental Learning Center that we refer to as the ELC. I have Naisha Lewis, the Senior EMA 2 and the Director of the ELC here with me today. This request for proposal solicits proposals from experienced contractors to provide services for the design, installation, renovation, and upgrade and improvement of the exhibits to the Environmental Learning Center at Hyperion, as well as their subsequent repair and maintenance on an as-needed basis. The ELC is located at the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant. It is a 20,000 square foot facility built and operated by LA Sand that houses 2 galleries of educational exhibits and interaction stations highlighting the city's clean water, watershed protection, and solid resources programs. The galleries include interactive exhibits featuring graphically designed panels and mechanical apparatus used to illustrate LA Sand's function and mission to the public, protect public health and the environment. The existing exhibits were established in 2013. Since then, LA Sand's mission, programs, and initiatives have grown and expanded. As a result, it is vital that the exhibits at the Environmental Learning Center incorporate technological upgrades and improvements with renovations that adequately reflect the city's current and future programs and operations. Once the exhibits have undergone the installation, upgrades, and improvements, they will also require routine and/or as-needed maintenance, emergency repairs of any mechanical or design issues, such as damage done to panels or vinyl installations. The service provided will assist the ELC to remain a key resource for for environmental education, helping transform neighborhoods to cleaner and greener living spaces. The first floor exhibits services for graphic design, fabrication, and installation of upgrades and improvements of exhibits to align with changing LA Sand clean water initiatives and programs, including but not limited to the watershed program, wastewater management, sewer conveyance and maintenance, the City of LA's recycled water, Pure Water LA joint initiative with Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. Our second floor exhibits LA Sand initiative and programs included but not limited to solid resources management, blue bin recycling, zero waste reduction, plastic reductions, recycler commercial contract management, Senate State Bill 1383 organics compliance, funding. This project was approved on October 21st, 2025 in the amount of $3.3 million for this fiscal year. $800,000 will come from Fund Number 760, the Sewer Operations and Maintenance Fund. $800 will come from Fund Number 4060, the Citywide Recycling Trust Fund. The remaining funding will be budgeted within Fund Number 760, Sewer Operations and Maintenance Fund, and Fund 100, the General Fund. Funds and appropriations for future fiscal years have not yet been identified and may change based on available cash balances. Therefore, funds and appropriations will be determined by the Director and General Manager of LA Sanitation. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Just wanted to reiterate the point that while the ELC might be undergoing some maintenance, it will still, parts of the ELC will still be open for the public.
Yes, sir. This is correct, Commissioner.
All right, Commissioner Cardenas. Vice President Chavez.
Yes, thank you for that presentation. I think it's high time that we update the exhibit, especially given all of the changes that we have in sanitation on the projects with the advanced water purification facility. We have the MBR there. We have so many different things going on, all the new regulations about organics, things we need to educate residents about. I was wondering if the RFP includes input, given that the audience is residents of all ages, from school groups that go through there to community, members of the community, to even international visitors that we get. What kind of input, if any, are we going to receive, and what's the process to get input on just the types of exhibits that might be showcased in the new center?
Sure, give me one moment.
Hello. Sorry, Naisha Lewis. So what happens with the RFP is that we'll actually have a group of examiners and evaluators that come from all the different projects that we want to highlight there. And then we'll also work with our public affairs office and our external affairs group to make sure that that messaging is good for the community for the different ages. But it's an internal evaluation process that's going to include sanitation employees, not so much from the outside coming in to evaluate the proposals. And then once a contractor is determined, then that's where we're going to work more in depth with them on what the storyboard and what the messaging is going to be in the exhibits. And our goal is to actually have them be a little bit more flexible than they are right now. Right now they're static, and so in order to update them, you kind of have to do a little bit of construction. So the goal is to have them being modernized, where as things change and things expand, we can easily add them in without having to do full-on construction.
I would love to provide a recommendation, if I may, a way to collect ideas or suggestions, especially from the school groups that come in. Have them, just have a little box, a little survey box, or ideas box. If they draw something, or I would love to see something like this, and then that way you can just sort of hand it over, as the sort of discussions begin from the advisory group. Would love to, give them something to chew on, if you will, when they're coming up with the ideas for the new exhibits. It'd be great to get some input, especially from our youngest residents.
That's actually a great idea, and we can do that like an information box or a suggestion box at the ELC. But we can also, anyone who signs up for tours of the facility, they do it through a Google form. So we'll also be able to send them a survey saying, hey, we're updating our exhibits. Any suggestions that you have, please submit them.
That would be great. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Cardenas.
I had to thank you, Vice President Chavez. It just brought up an idea that it's one thing to get information or get ideas from the students that go through, but also the teachers, the educators that are going through there, how they can incorporate information that they have there into their classrooms. So you kind of link that over. So it's like they could do things before they go to the ELC, or they could do things after they go to the ELC, so that it can kind of expand make that field trip last a little longer. And I see something like that would be kind of interactive, even though they're not there anymore. So just also input from the education community as well. So that would be very. I think the more we can include them, the more they're going to want to go there. And especially if they see that their ideas or their suggestions are being recognized. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, is there a first and a second?
Second.
First by Commissioner Mitchell, seconded by Vice President Chavez.
Thank you, President Kane. We'll take a roll call vote on approval of item 6, starting with you, President Kane.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell and Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 6 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Knight, I believe that concludes our items for today.
Yes, it does, President Kane.
Our next regular meeting of the Board of Public Works will be on March 13th, 2026 at the Van Nuys City Hall. And tomorrow we have a special management meeting at Hyperion. And the meeting now concludes at 10:50 a.m.